Marcus Smart has made a lot of clutch plays for this team the entire year.
I agree.
So it's not like that was an anomaly. And actually, if you look at the play where they got the inbounds on the sideline, right, where you got the block by Jrue Holiday, Al Horford was coming down the opposite side of the court for a pin down. Jason Tatum, like Giannis was over the ball like this on the sideline. There was no way they were going to get that shot there. He makes the right read. It was a hell of a move.
But you saw Udoka going like this to change because Tatum was supposed to come
off that.
You're supposed to come off of it and fly to the ball. You're supposed to do that.
But in the Milwaukee Bucks defense now, Jrue Holiday is on the weak side. He comes over for that block. Because he has I know you're not blaming it on. Right. That was a great look by Marcus Smart. It's better defense by Jrue Holiday.
Sure, I agree.
Now, the last play is a little bit concerning because as a guard, when I catch the ball on an inbounds pass, one dribble, my head is up. I'm looking up. That should have been a skip pass.
That's right.
But I have to give credit to Jrue Holiday for digging down that.
Well, I'm not taking anything away. That's why I said I'm not stripping Milwaukee of the credit it deserves. What I'm saying to you is, for example, when you bring up Marcus Smart, what does Marcus Smart make big plays on two occasions? Defensively, anywhere. Number one. Number two, when it's a shot, it's catch and shoot. It's not you dribbling the ball up the court. The ball is in your hand.
The last play.
The last play, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum has to have the ball in their hands. And if you touch the ball, it's for the sole express purpose of getting one of those two the ball as quickly as possible.
I agree with you on that.
Marcus Smart didn't do that.
How much were they missing Robert Williams?
I think it helps with the physicality around Giannis getting to the rim whenever he wants. I think that's a huge.
And somebody to finish at the basket.
Yes.
Somebody to finish at the basket.
Yeah.
But they had nothing on the interior last night when it really counted.
So he's questionable for Game 6 as well. I'll ask you this. Do you believe Boston can bounce back and still win this series? Because Game 7 would be at home.
I do believe they can bounce back, but there is something that gives me more confidence about who Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks are in these type of moments. I believe Boston has the talent that should be in the NBA Finals. Yeah. I don't know if they have the maturity in these end-of-game scenarios the way Milwaukee does to get there.
I will tell you where I'm at with this. Okay. I got Boston in 7.
Okay.
Obviously, pick looks wrong like right now. I'm not jumping off the ship, but I will tell you this. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Milwaukee won this series, but back in Boston. In other words, I still believe Boston's going to win Game 6 and force Game 7. Now, you going to beat Giannis 2 games in a row? A Game 6 and 7 when he's trying to get his second consecutive title? That's a tall ask. I'll jump off the ship. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But what I'm most confident about, I really believe that Boston is going to go into Milwaukee for Game 6 tomorrow night and beat Milwaukee and force a Game 7. I could see Milwaukee losing tomorrow night and coming back and winning Game 7.
I agree with you, but it is a hostile environment.
It is a hostile environment.
Can I just say something real quick, though? Yes. We are talking about the Milwaukee Bucks without their second best player in Chris Middleton.
Which is unbelievable.
What does this say about Giannis? That this dude right now, you're talking about the last 3 years. If he got back-to-back regular season MVP, he followed it up with a world championship and a finals MVP. If he finds a way to be undermanned to get by the most complete team in the East in the Boston Celtics and get to a championship game again.
Well, see, here's what it says. If you're the JWill of the world, it says the man's phenomenal and he's great and all-time great and all of this other stuff.
Thank you for speaking.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
What it says to me?
What
it says to me?
What does it say to you? After you explain what it says to me, for me.
Yeah.
Ready?
I love when people speak for me.
He ain't Ben Simmons. That's what it said to me. That's what it said to me. No, wait a minute. Stay with me. Because you know how I am. You'll sit up there. How many times do you listen to me and you go like this? What the hell is he talking about? And then I explain it. You go like this. Damn, I ain't think about it that way. Here's the deal.
Oh, my goodness.
The same Giannis Antetokounmpo, they would once count when he was at the free throw line. 1, 2, 3, 4, because he would take forever to shoot his free throw, right? And obviously, damn near commit violations sometimes, okay? He keeps coming nonstop. He ain't scared to get fouled. He ain't scared to go to the free throw line. What does he do last night? He gets fouled within the last 20 seconds. So goes right to the free throw line, hits the front end, all right? Hits the first one, misses the second one. Bobby Portis gets the putback because Marcus Smart knocks Jaylen Brown out the way. We understand that. But Giannis's courage, his fearlessness, his willingness to attack, he don't give a damn about the shrapnel or cynicism, criticism, whatever coming his way. That's point number 1. And point number 2, his jump ain't been great. Saw that 3 that he hit? Pulled it up, yanked it, just like that. The courage, the consistency, the fearlessness, the fact that he don't give a damn what anybody
called
says.
mental toughness.
He's constantly coming. That's why I said. It says to me,
Jay, is it fair to say he's one of the most mentally tough players?
Oh, yeah,
like him
1000%.
and Joel Embiid, because I always bring up that immigrant mentality where it's next level, but you're not putting Joel Embiid there.
I don't know. Yeah, I need to see that from Joel Embiid tonight.
As you know, with West Indian heritage,
yeah.
you're all right. I mean, the immigrant mentality, no doubt. That's a compliment. Huge compliment.
That's what I'm saying.
You keep working.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes,
you would be the only man on this planet to find a way to put Ben Simmons' name in the same conversation as a two-time MVP and a world champion.
Diametrically opposed.
In Giannis.
Diametrically opposed. Polar opposites. How about
leave
that?
this man Ben Simmons alone.
No.
Let him do what he needs to do to get focused. So why are you even bringing his name to the conversation when we're talking about a guy who was Finals MVP?
Most people would try to give you a cerebral explanation.
Why do you keep using the word cerebral?
It's intellectual, whatever.
Whatever.
Let me say this to you. Because I want to. Why didn't
they have no need to be together.
Because I want to. Because what I'm trying to say to you is this. You think one has nothing to do with the other. I believe it's everything. You know why? Because this, other than Giannis's greatness, what is Giannis's greatest attribute?
His mentality, but I can compare his mentality to 90% of the NBA, let alone one player.
Hold on, you think that 90% of the NBA has the same mentality?
No, I think that 90% of the NBA does not have the same mentality as Giannis. So that's why I don't know why you would specifically choose Ben Simmons in this situation.
Well, first of all, you know why. I'm not going to believe
it. You can't let it go.
He was trying to say polar opposites. That's where he was going with that.
I choose not to see this first.
Don't spread your eyes when you talk to me like that.
This is first take.
Don't give me.
I choose to. That's what the hell I want to do because. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.